Hello, I'm back. Today is February 3rd, 2025, another update. So, the Houston Marathon was a couple weeks ago, and surprise, surprise, I didn't finish. I actually didn't really feel like starting, but I did anyway, and I thought maybe I could do half of it, and it turns out that was even a long shot, and I knew that as well. So, I made it to 10K. I had GI issues from the very beginning, and I did take a bathroom break after 5K. And then, I don't know, it just unraveled pretty quickly. And at 10K, I decided just to pull the plug because that's where I saw the med tent for the first time. And because I was looking for that the entire time, but I didn't see one until 10K. So that's when I pulled aside and called it a day. I didn't feel like walking in the cold and the wind for the rest of the way. The remaining 7 miles, it was just a little too much. If it were warmer, I would have done it, but it was cold. It was like 30 degrees and pretty windy. So major respect to Connor Mance and Wayne Kaladi. I'm sorry, I totally butchered her name probably, for setting the American records on the men and the women's side. I mean, the conditions were not ideal at all. So the fact that they could do that in such cold and windy conditions is very impressive. So interestingly, something in me flipped right after that race. So even though I didn't get it done, and it was almost the exact replica of my experience in Chicago 2023. I've been running almost every day since, and I have no idea like what exactly flipped, but Saturday, that was like less than 2 weeks after Houston, where I could barely run 5K continuously because of my gut issues. Saturday, 2 days ago, I ran 15 miles, and I only took my first bathroom break at mile 12. So that was a shock. And in fact, last week I ran over 40 miles, and I don't even know the last time I did that. I mean, it's been a long, long time. I have a couple of theories as to why I was able to do that. So one, I read this book called Cured by Jeffrey Rediger. It's about like spontaneous remissions, people who were diagnosed with terminal illnesses that somehow got better. And he goes into the possible reasons why. I really appreciate his research because I think it takes a much more holistic approach than how Western doctors are trained. So, stress is a huge part of our health, and it has a huge impact on our health. So I think that's why there's a lot of chronic illnesses, because of the stresses that we kind of unnecessarily place ourselves in Western society. Just a lot of peer pressure and expectation. I feel that it's very unreasonable, and it has a very real impact on our health. So I kind of look at the world in a different lens, and I think it's helped my health. The importance of not only having a good diet, but reducing the stress in life, and being also kind of accepting of life's challenges, because that's just a part of life. And I think it's important to sort of roll with the punches and just accept that there's always going to be challenges, and it's just life. And so that reading about these people who supposedly had incurable diseases turn things completely around against all odds. Like, these are people with like pancreatic cancer and like advanced brain cancers that are supposedly terminal. So a lesson that I got from this book is that even if a disease is labeled as incurable, I mean, just because a cure hasn't been found doesn't mean something is incurable. It just means it hasn't been found yet or discovered. And the fact that there are these outliers says a lot, that actually, diseases are curable. and Western medicine just hasn't found a definitive cure. But I do think that um, perspective and, philosophy of life is a big part of health, and diet, and just making sure you're like well connected, like you have a really good relationship to the universe. So now it's like I try to imagine my body as like a whole bunch of like, I mean, there's like 40 trillion cells in in my body supposedly, and I tell myself each one is individual and strong and healthy, and there's going to be a few that are weak, but that's not going to affect the other cells. The vast majority of those 40 trillion cells, and that doesn't even include the bacteria, which is another 40 plus trillion cells. So that's a lot of cells, bacteria. Well, I don't know if I got those terms right, but anyway, that's a lot of cells and organisms that constitute this body. And I just think if you know, there might be a few weak ones, but the vast majority are healthy, and that's not the weak ones are not going to impact the strong ones. So I keep my mind on that, and I think that's made all the difference. So actually, though, after my 15-mile run on Saturday, my left knee did feel kind of not so great, and the left knee is what really set me back in the training for Houston. I was only able to run like once a week, 3 to 5 miles, because of the left knee, and it was bothering me yesterday, but I still managed to eke out 6 miles with a couple of pretty long breaks. But anyway, another thing that I feel like maybe made a difference is vitamin E. So I learned that vitamin E is actually really, really important for the nervous system. So I have been taking actually more than the recommended daily amount with every day. And I do feel, I don't know if it's a placebo effect, but regardless, I do feel a difference. And I don't feel stilted and a lack of control in my movements, because before it felt really herky-jerky and uncontrollable. So that has helped. I feel that it has helped. I do have an EMG appointment in a couple of days, or a few days, and we'll see what comes out of that. But I definitely feel like I've actually made huge strides, pun intended, in the last couple of weeks, and I'm really, really happy about that. So anyway, that is the update. I hope you're well. I think dystonia is very much a reversible thing. Like I think it's actually really common, and it can be reversed, and you can actually bounce back better than ever after having it or struggling with it. And I believe that will be the case for me. I really feel that to my core. Anyway, I hope you're well, and until next time, take care.